I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Good morning, CV. It's Carter here with your morning announcements for Monday, November 7th, 2016. Attention French, German, and Spanish club members. Last call for Penguin game tickets. See your language teacher for details. The library will be closed today. It will open after Block 1 on Tuesday. Attention all NHS members. The North Pole holiday event is fast approaching. This mandatory event requires you to volunteer during one of 3 times. Friday, December 2nd after school. Saturday, December 3rd, either 9:30 a.m. until 12 noon or 12 noon until 2:30 p.m. If you have not volunteered for any food banks or participated in the food drive, your member status may be in danger. See Mrs. Jones ASAP. Attention all students who love to sing, dance, or act. Leading role auditions for Central Valley's musical will be Monday, November 7th at 2:45 in the chorus room, and an ensemble and small speaking role auditions will be Wednesday, November 9th at 2:45 in the chorus room. Applications can be picked up in the chorus room or Frow's room, D204. The Student Council will be holding a Humane Society drive. We are asking the academic study halls to collect items from the list provided, and the study hall that collects the most items between now and November 18th will win a pizza party. This year, Maureen Barbuto and Alex Bozich are organizing the Children's Grief Awareness Day on Thursday, November 17th. If you purchased a shirt, you will be wearing them on November 17th. They will also be selling $1 balloons for the balloon release during study hall that Thursday, November 17th. There will be a bake sale inside the cafeteria. That's all for your announcements for today, CV. Now here's Alex with Day 2 of the CVTV election coverage.
Good morning, Central Valley. Welcome to Day 2 of our CVHS election coverage. As everyone knows, tomorrow our country will be holding a presidential election. In order to generate interest and excitement, the CVHS Social Studies Department has put together a 3-part presentation to generate more interest and excitement in the upcoming election. The theme for today is the election process in the Electoral College. Now let's get started. Question 1, who exactly runs our elections? The states. State law regulates most aspects of the election, including primaries, the eligibility of voters, the running of each state electoral college, and the running of state and local elections. The United States Constitution defines how federal elections are held, the date of the election day, the number of election polls, and rules about early voting. Question 2, does your vote really matter? This question plagues many citizens. Who really elects the president? The popular vote or the Electoral College vote? According to the Constitution, the Electoral College vote actually elects the president. Here's a quick video on the Electoral College.
Most people have heard of the Electoral College during presidential election years. But what exactly is the Electoral College? Simply said, it is a group of people appointed by each state who formally elect the President and Vice President of the United States. To understand how this process began and how it continues today, we can look at the Constitution of the United States. Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution. It specifies how many electors each state is entitled to have. Since 1964, there have been 538 electors in each presidential election. How did they decide on the number 538? Well, the number of electors is equal to the total voting membership of the United States Congress, 435 representatives plus 100 senators and 3 electors from the District of Columbia. Essentially, the Democratic candidate and Republican candidate are each trying to add up the electors in every state so that they surpass 270 electoral votes, or just over half of 538 votes, and win the presidency. So how do states even get electoral votes? Each state receives a particular number of electors based on population size. The census is conducted every 10 years, so every time the census happens, states might gain or lose a few electoral votes. Let's say you're a voter in California, a state with 55 electoral votes. If your candidate wins in California, they get all 55 of the state's electoral votes. If your candidate loses, they get none. This is why many presidential candidates want to win states like Texas, Florida, and New York. If you currently add up the electoral votes of those 3 states, you would have 96 electoral votes. Even if a candidate won North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and West Virginia, they would only gain 31 electoral votes total from those 8 states. Here's where it can get a little tricky. On a rare occasion, like in the year 2000, someone can win the popular vote but fail to gain 270 electoral votes. This means that the winner may have won and collected their electoral votes by small margins, winning just enough states with just enough electoral votes, but the losing candidate may have captured large voter margins in the remaining states. If this is the case, the very large margins secured by the losing candidate in the other states would add up to over 50% of the ballots cast nationally. Therefore, the losing candidate may have gained more than 50% of the ballots cast by voters, but failed to gain 270 of the electoral votes. Some critics of the Electoral College argue the system gives an unfair advantage to states with large numbers of electoral votes. Think of it this way. It is possible for a candidate to not get a single person's vote, not one vote, in 39 states or the District of Columbia, yet be elected president by winning the popular vote in just 11 of these 12 states: California, New York, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, New Jersey, North Carolina, Georgia, or Virginia. This is why both parties pay attention to these states. However, others argue that the Electoral College protects small states such as Rhode Island, Vermont, and New Hampshire, and even geographically large states with small populations, like Alaska, Wyoming, and the Dakotas. That's because a candidate can't completely ignore small states, because in a close election, every electoral vote counts. There are certain states that have a long history of voting for a particular party. These are known as safe states. For the past 4 election cycles, in 1996, 2000, 2004, and 2008, Democrats could count on states like Oregon, Maryland, Michigan, and Massachusetts, whereas the Republicans could count on states like Mississippi, Alabama, Kansas, and Idaho. States that are teetering between parties are called swing states. In the past 4 election cycles, Ohio and Florida have been swing states, twice providing electoral votes for a Democratic candidate and twice providing electoral votes for a Republican candidate. Think about it. Do you live in a safe state? If so, is it a Democratic or Republican safe state? Do you live in a swing state? Are your neighboring states swing or safe? Is the population in your state increasing or decreasing? And do not forget, when you're watching the electoral returns on election night every 4 years and the big map of the United States is on the screen, know that the magic number is 270 and start adding.
The last question. Who is the most recent U.S. president that won the electoral vote but not the popular vote? To answer this question, each student will receive an email today with a link to informative websites about the Electoral College vote. In addition, there will be some trivial questions that can be answered for small prizes. Make sure to check your email between 7 and 8 a.m. tomorrow. There will be an email sent out to you to cast your vote for president. Have a great day, Central Valley.